We're back. We're gonna try it again. I don't know what's going on. I've never had this issue. Every time I try to add Miss Eyes into the live, it kicks us. Kind of messed up, but we're gonna try and make it happen. I apologize to anybody that was looking forward to this. Just give me a second. We're gonna try and figure it out. Okay, we back. I think we got it. I apologize again, y'all. You can hear me and everything. We good?
Hi.
Hello. I can't see you yet, but okay, there you go. What's going on?
Okay.
How you doing?
I'm doing great.
I figured out the issue. I think it was you couldn't hear me because my headphones was on. I didn't have my my Bluetooth hooked up.
Okay.
But all right, we're gonna go ahead. I was trying to run up the numbers, but you know, technical difficulties.
I know. Here, let me text my friend from my other phone 1 second to let him know we're back on live. Hold on.
No problem. In the meantime, what's up, everybody? I apologize for the technical difficulties, man. I ain't never had that issue before. Shout out to Roadrunner on the beat. That's the producer on the beat you were hearing a minute ago as we were trying to get things going. But we're going to go ahead and get it going. We're going to go ahead and get it started right now. What's going on, everybody? Appreciate you for tuning in. It's your boy D-double-Z. If you didn't know, you're about to find out. Today we're going to be talking to Bay Area native, award-winning singer, pop singer at that, pianist, actress, Miss Eyes. How you doing, Miss Eyes?
Thank you for the wonderful introduction. I'm doing great today.
Awesome. I hope everybody's staying healthy over there.
Yeah. It turns out my everyday life is quarantine, so I guess I'm doing pretty well.
Yeah, I made that comment last time I was on live with Chazo from All Bay Chazo Music. If you do music, you've already been quarantined, so this ain't nothing new.
Exactly. And plus, everything's so frustrating. You're always waiting for somebody to get back to you, waiting to get back to somebody else. You know, so you pretty much end up in the same spot, in your bed or in your living room or in front of your computer.
Yep. Or if you're taking advantage of it, like most of us are, you're using this time to get stuff done and, you know, prepare for what's coming next.
Yeah, you know, with me, I really just, I kind of just needed to rest. You know, kind of needed the rest. You know, I got sick, but I didn't get sick because of that. It was because these crazy people started hoarding food and toilet tissue. Originally, I shop at Lucky's every day, my neighborhood Lucky's. So when I went in there, I never do this, but I started filming, and it just so happened to be all my neighbors were there, and we went to the toilet paper section, and I was like, this is real.
Yeah, it's real.
And even the lady, like, people wanted to be in my video, but I don't be filming people unless they got permission. So that's why it's not on my stories on my feed. But, like, people were literally looking at me and laughing. Like, they thought it was ridiculous. It got real when there was no more food. And it was nothing but this big lump of hamburger meat. And me and hamburger meat is cool sometimes. But I got sick because I had too much hamburger meat. I was literally sick for like 2.5 weeks. So
wow, yeah.
All the doctor's appointments are over the phone now. So
yeah.
She was like, "Can you just tough it out for about 3 weeks?" I was like, "Oh no."
Yeah, you gotta add something to your diet. You can't just have red meat.
Yeah, it was just that was all they had, and you know, and And the people at Lucky's were embarrassed. It was like, sorry, we're a little short right now. Like, they're going through poverty or something. Like,
yeah, I guess there was a big, I guess there was a big beef shortage.
Yeah, I mean, it was, you know, my doctor told me that, first of all, my doctor said, don't eat any more meat because the animals could be infected. But they also said, they also said that it's not that there's a shortage of food. It's because the confusion stopped people from being able to deliver the food.
Okay.
So rapidly. Yeah.
Yeah, just started domino effect, started to build back up.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and get into the interview. I know that you're from Oakland originally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. You started singing at the age of 4, right?
Huh?
You started singing at the age of 4?
Yeah, I started singing before that, but I noticed a lot of people gave me like side eyes in the industry when I said 3. So I just put 4 on my press kit. But I've been singing. Yeah. So yeah. But yeah, 3 on my press kit. I just say 4 because it sounds better to people for some reason. So
still 4. That's an amazing age to start singing at, to realize you have the vocal ability to hold notes and stuff like that.
Oh, that's so sweet. You know, I'm just lucky because people in my family are musicians. So my auntie, a voice teacher, my mom, she's a real teacher, and she teaches, well, all of them are real teachers, but she also taught music. All of them majored in music. So I was lucky to be able to have a little, enough guidance, you know, educational guidance with music.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Also, right now you signed to Bentley Records. Shout out to Bentley Gang.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Shout out to Bentley Gang. What's it like being signed? I know there's a thing in the hip hop culture, right? In the rap game, is to stay independent. Is that the same thing with R&B and pop music, or do you want to be signed?
I want to be signed.
Okay.
Here's the thing, like, when I was, like, I never thought about it like that, but when I was, like, in my teens, I had a boyfriend who was, like, super into hip-hop, like, it was, like, lightweight abusive, like, he was just trying to tell me, like, the industry, because he didn't like pop music, he loved rap, and he listened to underground rap. I'm talking about the Ghetto Twins, people I ain't never heard of. Yeah, you know who they are?
Oh, yeah, I know about the Ghetto Twins.
Yeah, the Brother Lynch Hung, like, he would, like, put this independent mindset into me, and even though it's somewhat abusive, I think that's kind of why I probably have, like, an independent route to me, because he was basically saying, you can't make it as a pop singer, you know what I mean? And so in some ways, I kind of have that hip-hop kind of a way of promoting myself.
Right.
Because he was a super hip-hop fan.
That tends to be the way to go, that guerrilla kind of marketing for yourself. You know, it tends to be able to help with any kind of music you do, really. But, you know, that's the game nowadays. If you can't do it yourself, then, you know, you have no chance at even signing with anybody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right.
And also, too, I just wanted to say, like, as far as, like, if any, like, other artists, like, in different genres besides hip-hop may not always be the easiest to deal with, but they're always the ones that give you a shot. Like, I literally went to a rap battle and sang Somewhere Over the Rainbow, and I felt pretty stupid. But they was like, I liked your song. I was like, that's so sweet.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. I put on shows where I don't care who, I don't care what you do. Get up on stage, go ahead. You got your 5-15 minutes. I don't care what you do.
Yeah. Yeah. So shout out to hip-hop.
Okay, so yeah, hip hop is kind of looked at as like a more negative thing, but really it's a very, very loving community. Like, as far as representing each other go and giving each other support.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's great because, you know, when you're a trained musician, like I was kind of taught to not like hip hop or rap. So, especially think about it, hip hop is still new. Like
Right.
it's starting to get worn a little bit, but we're kind of taught to look down on music like that, and it's crazy because I can actually understand hip hop, and I am so obsessed with like the Sugar Hill Gang. That's I love hip hop. I forgot why I was saying it though. Why I was brought it up. But yeah, like I totally love hip hop.
That's awesome. I understand that you study music, some acting.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes. So
tell us a little more about that. Like how did that go? Did it help you out with your career or?
yeah, so the schooling, as far as like the musicianship, that's something I'm really proud of. It's something that I don't get to showcase very often. It's helped in the sense that that's a problem that I don't have. Whereas when you try to make it in the industry, it's completely different than trying to be the best musician. You know
Yes,
what I mean?
yes.
So being that I had a lot of help in my formative years with music, like I can put more emphasis on how to make it in the industry because they can't teach you how to make it in the industry so much as learning the industry or marketing or business can help you in the business end. So
Exactly. Yeah.
you
See
kind of have to learn both fields.
yeah, that's kind of how I got started doing this. I started doing music myself when I was younger. And then in the process of like booking my own shows and doing studio time and stuff like that, I started learning the stuff that I didn't know. And then,
Exactly.
I started giving that information out. And then I realized, there's a lot of stuff that artists don't know. Let me look more into this side of it. And that's what I fell in love with.
Exactly.
Okay, so how long exactly have you been doing it professionally, like recording and doing videos and stuff like that?
Well, recording, I've been doing that since I was about like 14. Like I did like some live recordings, like with Oakland Youth Chorus and Fake Carol's MITC, and I started recording my own music not too long after I saved my money. I sang with NAM, and I got a
Okay.
scholarship. I used my scholarship to pay for studio time.
Right. Okay. Okay. So you had a plan from the start. A lot of people go into
Yeah.
this without a plan.
Well, I'm just really lucky because I didn't understand it cohesively.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, they literally had to tell me at NAM, like, in an under-table way, you don't have to use it to go to college. We just give you the money. But we want you to grow your career as a musician.
Yeah.
You can pay for your studio time. Like, they literally said, pay me your studio time. I was like, oh, okay. Because all the other singers was going to college, you know what I mean? But I want to be a pop star,
Right.
you know?
A lot. That's the different side of it. A lot of people just want to make music, but there's people that want to entertain and be a star.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have that drive, you know what I mean, then you know exactly where you want to be in life. But
Yeah.
okay, so after school, you used your money, you put it into your career, invested in yourself, as you should, I might add.
Yeah.
You got songs like Dedicated, Lovely, Levitating Remix, Damaged, and Still a Rainbow, which is I like Still a Rainbow. Still a Rainbow, that's a good one.
Thank you.
Do you got any up and coming, like any new stuff you're working on that's finna drop? Any albums?
Yes, so I'm actually working on a collaborative effort right now with a hip hop artist, and we're working on that. But I do have a new song that will come out. It was originally supposed to come out this month, but I'm not sure if it was because, pandemic, people started getting scary. So it might come out in July. But I'm hoping that my collaboration will come out first, because I really want to give people something more fresh, something a little different. And this song is really different. Like, the sample that was used, first of all, nobody recognized it, and it's obviously a jazz song, and that horn is just like it's all over the place. And so the sample that was used, it's just really not really like a break beat type of thing, but it still is a hip hop sound. So it's literally a beat that somebody gave to him and was like collecting dust, and now we're gonna do it.
Yeah.
So.
A throwaway beat.
Yeah.
All right. Do you have any music videos coming out, or?
See, I was actually gonna film my music video, and my manager's gonna make me film it anyway. He didn't care about the pandemic in Los Angeles, but I did get sick, so that's why it never finished. Like, it's paid for and all of that stuff, but I literally, he's like, I don't care what's going on. We're flying to LA. We're filming this video. We invested in this. You filming it. I'm like, yeah. And then I just got really sick and I couldn't even get out the bed. So
Yeah. You might have wanted to get your rest. You don't want to die out there.
Yeah. So the thing is I think that there is a way to still go out to LA. We're just not going to fly with other people. So, you know.
I would drive.
Yeah. Stay in the family terms. Yeah.
Yeah. In your circle.
Yeah.
Also, you do acting. You have landed. I've seen a few roles. Like last night, I actually watched the morning after. I think that's what it's called.
Watched that?
Yeah, I watched the morning after last night, and then I checked out the stop motion Marvel little movie.
Yeah. I played the Irish the Friday. You know, I didn't know.
Friday.
I watched. Yeah, I love Captain America and all that, but I never heard of Friday. And I was like, oh, this should be easy. And then one day I happened to be researching, because I don't like to research too deeply, and I'm glad I did, because it was like, she's Irish? I'm like, I couldn't do an Irish accent.
Yeah, no, you did pretty good at that one. You did pretty good. It was kind of funny, like the whole little stop motion thing. I'd never seen anything like that before. It was kind of funny to me.
Oh, well, I'm so glad you liked it. I'm so glad. It was fun.
Yeah, do you have any advice for people like that are trying to get into acting? Like, how can they reach out to people? Do they need an agent? Can they just do it on their own?
Everyone wants an agent. I remember, okay, so in regards to the schooling, so I was discovered by a reality star when I was a toddler. So when I was about 3 or 4, and she said she was going to represent me. Even though this story is kind of sad, it's not too sad because you learn the industry at a young age. So I got acting lessons from her and her people. And, you know, they were really rude and kind of really mean. But you do learn the industry by getting scammed. So she scammed my mom. So she scammed my mom out of her savings. And that's part of like where my drive comes from, to like wanting to pay my mom back, like all that money she invested in me, you know, since I was little. They waited till I was old enough to do the class, but you may not necessarily need an agent. So when I started taking acting seriously again, because I was really scared after that, you know, all of these online websites, I never used to do those. I never used to do those because I didn't want to get scammed again. Right. And some of the people I work with, they don't blame me, but I missed out on other opportunities being hurt from what I went through when I was 5. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
absolutely. That makes you kind of standoffish to even want to go back out there. But you learned from that, and now you know what to look for. So you have that.
Yeah, so as far as having an agent, Let it come naturally.
Okay, I almost was about to tell you the full truth, but I have an agent now. But really, I just met him on set. Because he's an actor, too. Like, a lot of people in the industry, they're artists themselves. Like, he just likes acting. He doesn't do it for the fame. But every time people ask me about him, you know the star? You know the star? I'm like, okay, yeah, that's my agent. Like, yeah, I got his number. I'll give you his number or whatever, you know. But, like, I just met him literally on set, and he would see me all the time, and he would be like, I know you. I'm like, I'm not that famous. You don't know me. But literally for years, I would see him, and then one day I was playing a prostitute in a music video, and then he was like, hi, I told you I knew you. And he took a picture, and it looks way more provocative than it is. It's just the way the dress looks. It doesn't look like I'm wearing anything, but he gave me his card after we took a picture, and he's been my agent ever since. Yeah, so like it's good to have an agent that you're compatible with. You know what I mean? So he still sends you out like a piece of meat, but it's yeah.
So for the most part, you learn from your mistakes, and that's basically one thing that people got to watch out for is getting scammed. The fakes,
yeah, I mean,
snakes.
everything is not a scam.
Right.
Like, just because they say, you know, you got to invest in your talent, that doesn't mean it's a scam.
Right.
But if they're talking about $6,000, $10,000, and you ain't got it like that, then maybe for you it probably is a scam because you don't have money to gamble. Everything is a gamble.
And Google is a hell of a tool. If you can Google somebody and look into their background, make sure they're legit, they're going to say they are first, then you do what you got to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, because even the lady that scammed my mom, like, my mom literally saw her on television, like, when I became, like, older. Like, when I was, like, in my late teens. She was like, that's the lady that stole my money. You know, I'm like, really? She's, like, a struggling actress? Wow. You know? So, but yeah, there's a difference.
That was a hard lesson learned, for sure.
Well, yeah, and I noticed it did hold my acting back because if I had gone to like some of these websites, yeah, there's fishy things about these websites. A lot of people in the industry are fishy, but that doesn't mean they're a complete scam. It's up to you, you know.
It's up to you,
but if I had just gave it a chance.
Yeah. Okay. Do you have any new acting jobs coming up? You got anything else you working on?
Well, we're not supposed to say anything right now because legally, the pandemic, it says you're not supposed to be filming anything.
Right. Okay. So we'll just be on the lookout for that. Y'all just watch her.
Yeah, maybe a television show located that takes place in the San Francisco Bay. Maybe when the pandemic is over, we might see something from that.
Okay. Sounds good. I'll for sure be paying attention. I wanted to touch on this a little bit. Not too much, but first I just want to say justice for George Floyd. You know, prayers out to his family, any family that's lost loved ones to ridiculous police violence. I know the Bay Area is still hurting over Oscar Grant. So, with that being said, how do you feel about the riots? Do you feel they're overdue, or do you think we need to find another way to voice our opinion?
I don't think that the protesters are starting those riots. Because even living out here, like, the media really blew some of this stuff out of proportion. You know, with a lot of the last few things that have happened, I don't think any of the protesters are starting riots. I think that it's people who are infiltrating. And luckily, I was able to meet some civil rights leaders, and they said, you know, back then people didn't do that, but because they expect people of color to march, or when it comes to marching for equality for minorities, it's more likely that there will be infiltrators. And back then they said they had Martin Luther King, Stokely Carmichael, Malcolm X, even though all of them had different opinions,
Right.
they were all good leaders. They don't feel like they have really good leaders today. So like, I literally know people who knew Martin Luther King. I think that that's so cool. But I do understand what they were saying, that they had better leaders back then. So that maybe there would be a plan in place to say, hey, like, these people are infiltrating. And I've seen the media, like, with their cell phones saying, look, this is this person. This is not a Black Lives Matter protester. This is look like a cop doing this, you know?
Yeah.
So
There's
I don't
a few
know. I wasn't
celebrities that
protesting. Huh?
yeah. I said, oh, my bad. I didn't mean to cut you off. I was just gonna say there's a few celebrities that dedicated their entire week to just exposing the people that were there just to be there. You know what I mean? Just to cause trouble.
Yeah, and I respect totally people who are willing to put their lives on the line, man. Like,
Absolutely.
you know, yeah, like, first of all, shout out to everyone who is marching. Like, even a
Yes.
rapper named Chico Manolo, he's one of my good friends. He's marching out there. And I told him in the last live, he was filming live, and he said, he's got a gun, he's got a gun. And then the video ended. I'm like, are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay? You know,
I have a
he's
friend.
fine.
I have a friend of mine that's been out there in Sacramento protesting at the Capitol, and a cousin of mine, and he's the kid that was just shot with the rubber bullet in the face. He was standing next to them when it happened, and his mother, my friend's mother, was hit by pepper spray and all kind of shit. Like it's all over his feed too. Yeah, so it's getting crazy out there. It's getting ridiculous. And they weren't even out there, being malicious or nothing like that. They're just out there waving signs, chanting,
And here's the thing, like, I just feel like it isn't fair. If they're peacefully protesting, you shouldn't bother them. Bother the people who are busting windows and who are doing all of that. Because I've seen videos of these guys getting beat up. And it's like, you're supposed to be so big and bad. Like, you're not beating up these people, and you got peaceful protesters that you want to harm. So, wow, I didn't know I had such an opinion about that. You got that out of me.
I'm glad I asked. Okay, so with that being said, do you think it's police versus protesters or police versus blacks?
No comment. No comment. I'm sorry.
All right, everybody drop your answer in the comments below. Let me know. Do you think it's police versus protesters?
Guys.
Police versus protesters or police versus the black community specifically? All right, so we're going to go ahead and go to the next question.
Okay.
Are you aware of what Lil Wayne said about it?
No, I did see his face in a feed, and I think I heard another video saying he should shut up, but I didn't click on any of them, so I don't know what he said.
Right. Well, I'm gonna leave it up. If you know about it in the comments, you know about what he said. I feel like he may have been wrong. He needs to be more mindful about what he said, but I'll leave that up to to each their own, basically.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna lighten up the mood now. This is a line of questions I like to call no thinking. So you have to answer each question in 5 seconds. So I'll ask the question, and then you have 5 seconds to answer.
Okay.
Okay. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. First thing you do before you go to bed.
Pray. Did you hear me?
I couldn't hear you. What was it? Pray. Oh, okay, that's a good one. Okay. First thing you do when you go into the studio.
Clear my mind.
That's a good answer. Okay. Party or solo?
Party.
Party? Okay. What's your favorite cereal?
Smack.
Smacks? Ooh, yeah, Smacks go crazy. Yeah, Smacks go crazy. Okay, favorite cartoon?
Daffy Duck.
Daffy Duck? Okay, all right, I'll go with Daffy Duck. All right, who's your favorite comedian?
Cat Williams.
Cat Williams?
Yeah.
Okay, he's funny. He's definitely up on the Mount Rushmore for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know if you play video games, but what's your favorite video game of all time?
Of all time?
Of all time. 5 seconds.
Oh no, I don't know. Diner Dash.
Okay. All right.
That's not true. It's The Sims. But the only thing I could think of was Diner Dash.
All right, I'll give you The Sims.
Okay.
All right. Favorite sports team?
The Warriors.
Go Warriors, Warrior Nation. Hey. All right. Favorite movie?
Thriller?
Thriller?
That's the only thing I could think of in 5 seconds.
Hey, I'll give you that. That was like a short movie.
Yeah.
That wasn't like a little short movie. Okay. Favorite song of all time?
All time?
Your favorite song
Still
about
a
this
rainbow.
song? Still a Rainbow. Y'all go hit the download. Go download Still a Rainbow. Okay. All right. Favorite Bay Area rapper?
Ooh. No. E40.
E40? All right, for sure. E40. Yeah, shout out to E40. All right. Favorite shoes?
Payless.
Payless? Okay,
Yeah.
You gotta keep it funky. You gotta keep it real. Payless.
It's true.
All right, on the last.
Everybody click likes on that. They like
Yeah, you gotta hit the likes on Payless. Yeah. Hey, I ain't gonna lie. When I was little, I used to ask for the shacks. Like, but let me get the red ones. I want the red ones.
Airlock.
All right, on the last question, you got no time limit. You can take as long as you want. What are you going to do when you make your first million? What's the first thing you're doing when you get $1 million?
I'm not telling nobody.
Ooh, game. Game exchange, yeah, that's it.
You know, I am so generous. And I've been actually trying to educate myself on people's past experience who suddenly became rich. Like it wasn't given, or they went from poor to rich. People of all colors and backgrounds. They said the best thing you could do is just not tell anybody.
Yeah, that's true. Where I'm from, Fairfield, California, shout out to Fairfield, there was a lady that hit the lottery and they announced it in the paper. She got robbed.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So honestly, the best thing you can do when you come into money, zip lip.
Yeah.
That was a good answer. All right, is there anything else you want to say to anybody? Shout out anybody. Tell them where they can find your music videos, your movies, all that. Go ahead.
Yes. Go to my website, itseyes.com. If you'd like to purchase any of my music, please go to eyesbandcamp.com. You can pay whatever you can afford, or you can pay a little more on Bandcamp. So eyes.bandcamp.com. My website is itseyes.com. I'm here on Instagram as Miss Eyes, and also I'm on TikTok at It's Eyes. So you spell my name EYE''Z.
EYE''Z. Don't y'all forget it, man. Make sure you tap in with it. And go run the numbers up on that Still a Rainbow. That's my favorite one. That one go crazy.
Thank you.
That one go crazy. I appreciate you giving me some time today. Thank you for sitting with us. hopefully I get some more time with you in the future. Touch back bases with you, see what's going on.
Yeah, no problem. I had so much fun.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, everybody that came in here. Appreciate y'all. Don't forget to go follow
Thank
the
you,
page.
guys.
Also, before we leave, I got a big free merch giveaway going on. If you go over to my apparel page, D Preciado Apparel, ring the numbers up. As soon as I get to 1K followers across all platforms, I'm giving away some t-shirts, man. Make sure you follow my page. Links in my bio.
Yes.
Thank you again. Thank you again. I appreciate you. Thank you for giving me some time.
Bye.
Bye, everybody. Appreciate you. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday.